people get 100%. And low
We're
score,
recording. We are recording.
yay.
Okay.
So I'll repeat that again. High score was 100%, with the average going way up to 90. And then the low score was 64, which is technically still a passing grade. So we're doing really well. People are doing great. The average time also went down by almost 2 minutes. So really, really good stuff. We have got some, we did want to go over some questions. There were only about 4 questions that people really struggled with. We're going to go over those. David's going to talk to you a little bit about that. And then I'm going to share with you some stuff that you can use to get ready for your next quiz on punctuation. But David, since you got our recording going.
Yeah, I do. I'm going to share my screen. So it seems like the 4 prompts where students had the most trouble was the difference between drunk and drunken, are and is, fewer and less than, and effect and effect. So I put this in the week 2 module today. This is a list of, it's really a list of commonly misused words, right? And this is something I put together a long time ago, and I've got each of those issues, each of those set of words, I should say, right here. So the difference between effect and effect: effect with an A is a verb, effect with an E is a noun. Effect with the verb means to influence, as in a sentence like this: the new vacation policy affects all personnel. Sorry. Effect is a noun. It is a thing. An effect is a thing. Like the new vacation has had a positive effect on employee productivity. Okay. So that's really the big difference. Effects is a verb, and effect with an E is treated as a noun. Okay, a thing. Then we've got, let's go down here. Whoops, what happened to, here we go. Drunk and drunken. I think a number of people, had trouble with this one. They're both adjectives, all right? The big difference is that one modifies a noun directly. So if I had a sentence or a series of sentences like this: you drank 6 beers and got drunk. He was drunk last night. Okay, state of being. The difference down here, drunken, they are drunken sailors. So here you've got the plural noun sailors. And so that's when you use drunken. The sailors were drunk last night. The sailors are drunken. And in this second sentence here, just like up here, there's no direct noun being modified. That's the only difference. Okay. Hope that clears up. Any questions on it? Any of those two? Okay, I'll jump down to the next set. Fewer and less than. Again, both adjectives. The difference is that fewer we use for things that we can count. For example, I burn fewer gallons of gasoline. You can count the gallons of gasoline that you use in your car. But if you had a sentence like, I burn less gasoline each week, you can't really count that because you're not breaking the gasoline down into gallons in that particular sentence. And that is the big difference. There is one exception, though, and that has to do with money. We typically will write, I have less than $20 in my pocket. We can count money as that's tangible. We can count it. But most of the time when we think about money, we're thinking about money in terms of, we hope a bulk, a bulk sum. Okay. So that really is the main exception, but that is the difference between fewer and less than. Okay, fewer when you are pointing to a countable noun, and less than when it's a non-countable noun. And then the other one that we had was junk. Oh, here we go. Is and are. So both of these are forms of the verb to be, and is a singular form of the verb, and are is plural. John is sick. And when we speak, we understand this. Okay. John is sick. But here's something that gives a lot of people trouble. Wildcats is a great basketball team. Wildcats, that's the name of the team. Because it has an S on the end, we often mistake it for being plural. And we also mistake it because we think in terms of all the players. But the Wildcats is a single entity. It's one whole, the team is one. And so that is why we actually use the word is. And I even, my own students on the collegiate make this mistake sometimes, the newer writers. So it really should read, the Wildcats is a great basketball team. Now, what we can do is we can say the Wildcat team, or the Wildcats team members. Once you include the word members, then you're referring to the multiple players and not just the whole, in which case the Wildcats team members are nice people. I've never met them, so I'm assuming they're nice people. And just like here, John and Mary, plural, takes are sick. Okay, and we hope they get well soon. All right. And that's really the difference. And you just need to be very careful to know in a sentence what is the verb modifying. Okay. Sometimes the verb the noun that the verb is modifying is not right next to the verb. Sometimes it's toward the beginning or some other part of the sentence. So you just have to read it very carefully. A really good way to test it is not just to read it with your eyes, but to read it out loud. I teach this to my journalism students here at the, it's production night at the collegiate. They're putting out the paper for tomorrow morning. And I teach them to proofread out loud, because then you get to really hear what you're saying. Sometimes what we see is not always the same thing as what we hear. So it gives it that extra dimension. So I'd recommend, when you're trying to figure out, is it the correct verb form? Is it singular? Is it plural? Read it out loud.
David, I think your examples that you've given here are really good, because there are exceptions to the rule of the way I have always remembered whether to use is or are. And the way I normally remember that is that a sentence is only allowed to have one S in it. So if something's plural, we're talking about shoes are black, right? Shoes is plural, has an S on it. So then the modifier cannot have an S, so it has to be are. But every example that you have here is an exception to that rule. And so your point there of being really careful about what you're writing and proofreading out loud is a really good one, I think.
Yeah, and so this whole sheet, there were about I think of 50 or different sets of words: who, whom, there, then, respectfully, respectively. I mean, there's a ton of them. I put this in the module 2. Okay. I don't remember what it's labeled, but I'll make sure that I didn't fix the label on it, but I'll go in and make sure the label is real clear, so you know what it is. Okay, and you can use this, for lots of things, not just the Writing Academy. Any questions on that? Okay, I'm gonna stop share. Okay, coolio.
So just another point to bring up. David has covered 4 questions that we felt were not answered at a very high percentage. But there's a total of, you guys have a quiz. When you take the quiz, you have 25 questions to answer, but there's a total of 51 questions in our answer bank, and they're all put into your quizzes randomly. So out of 24 or out of 51 questions, to have only 4 that were weak, I think is really, really good. So huge improvement on this quiz. So whatever you guys did that helped you improve, keep doing that.
Yeah.
Really good stuff.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hearing from some of you, and to speak honestly, how are you feeling about the Writing Academy so far, and do you feel like you're getting something out of it, and just any input?
I think that for me, I studied all of this in high school and everything, but it was a pretty good refresher because I forgot maybe some of them, and I found myself like really, I was like, oh, that's really not how it's spelled, and like you just forget in force of habit. So I think the biggest tip that I took was just reading more. So I checked out a couple books at the library, and just kind of reading has helped me out, I think, a bit more in general. But I like it, and it's like not super demanding, which is nice, but at the same time, like it still makes sure that you're timely and you get everything done. So yeah, I'm a fan. I like it.
Okay, cool. Good to know. I really liked what you said that about it being a refresher, and force of habit and those kinds of things. And because I'll share something with you, all of you. I grew up in New York City, okay, in Manhattan and in Queens, New York. For those who are familiar with Queens and Manhattan, and I was fortunate enough to go to the best public high school, in the best public school district, in the city, which is District 26. And when I graduated from high school, and I went to an excellent high school. When I graduated from high school and applied to college, I couldn't get into the colleges of my choice at all, not a single one of them. And they all, when I asked, I was like, why? I was never really strong in math and science, but I always earned A's and at least B's in English and social sciences, and wrote my 10-page term paper in my American history class. And what was interesting was the reason why I couldn't get in was because they said I could not write grammatically correct. I was like, what? I wanted my parents to go get a tax refund for everything. And at the time, most colleges and universities, they didn't have writing academies. They didn't have programs for students who needed a little extra help in these areas. However, one school did, and it was the University of Bridgeport in Connecticut. And so they took me. Actually, there were two. The University of Hartford also had a program. They wouldn't take me. I was that bad. Okay, but Bridgeport did, but with a contingency. I had to spend 6 weeks on campus in their college prep program, and it was incredibly intensive. And for 6 weeks, every single day, 5 days a week, I was in a course that focused not on only root words, the roots of words. Okay. I had a reading class. There was a writing class. There were 4 of them. There was one more. I don't remember what the other one was. And they had us reading up to 60 to 70 pages every single day. And we had to write, and we had a journal every single day. And we had vocabulary. They taught us a chapter, and I still have the books here. I still have the books that I had from that. We learned it. Yeah, you had to learn it, and then you had to know it the next day for the quiz. And it was like this for 6 weeks, every single day. And I ended up finishing the program there were 60 students in the program, and I finished on the very top. That was because I wanted it. I knew what I wanted. And I'm not saying that others didn't, but whatever. I just really wanted it. And I was willing to do whatever it took to learn what I had to learn and get it done. And it's a process. And so you say force of habit, that process, that program, all in person, that's exactly what it was doing: repetition and forcing, to build these habits. And so I was really glad to hear you, JP, say that you found it really helpful to go. Working with these things in the Writing Academy may not be the most exciting stuff, but it will be probably among the most helpful stuff that you can learn, that'll propel you through your entire academic career and your professional career too. So there you go.
Claire, you looked like you had a comment to say a little bit earlier.
Well, I've never considered myself a bad writer per se, and I have done my fair share of journalistic writing. But one thing I did like about this course was it kind of forces me to re-examine some norms that you see even in professional journalism writing that aren't necessarily technically correct. And I noticed myself kind of indulging in those habits as well. And so this has been a really nice course just because it's a really good, I find it to be really good encouragement to kind of continue improving my own writing. Like for this spelling quiz we just finished taking, I was really nervous about it. So I've been taking like online spelling quizzes, like spelling difficult words all week.
Great.
And so even though it wasn't necessarily required for the course, I found myself kind of learning a lot more than I had initially anticipated.
Yeah. Where were you doing that? Where were you finding those?
There's a lot of good online quizzes. Dictionary.com has some really good ones on like affect versus effect or who versus whom, stuff like that. And so those were the main ones I was using.
Yeah, you can YouTube some of these things too. Also another resource that I like pointing students to is the Purdue OWL. Have you found that?
Yeah, I've been a subscriber to Purdue for a couple of years.
Oh, really?
Now.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I love what they do.
Yeah, that's a really
good for you.
Yeah, and it's free.
I've actually got a short list of some helpful sites, and the number one on the list is the Purdue OWL. So Claire, you're ahead of the game. I'm going to stick a few here in the chat. I'm going to break them up a little bit. I'm going to put 3 in here right now. The first 3 that I've posted in the chat, those are all text-based sites. You'll notice the first one there is Purdue OWL. There is a video embedded into their website, but for those of you that are not familiar with Purdue OWL, they have tons and tons of great content there for all levels. In fact, when I was writing my dissertation as a doctoral student, I referred to the Purdue OWL quite a bit because they have AP style, they have stuff for MLA style, they have stuff for Chicago style, multiple different styles of writing, which as you advance further in your educational career, you'll learn more about those. But even at this level, Purdue OWL has great stuff. They even have stuff for elementary school. I mean, every level of writing, they do an excellent job. So that's a really good one. I also found Penn State Law School has a really good writing center, and they have some punctuation exercises on that website. So as we start gearing up for punctuation, they've got some things there that you can go through. List of 22 different exercises, and then down at the bottom you can click a tab for answers, so you can kind of quiz yourself a little bit. And then that third page there, English for Everyone, they have a bunch of practice quizzes there as well that you can tap into. So those are some great text-based resources for you. And then since we are the video generation, got a couple of YouTube videos that I found that are really helpful. Let's see. Is that gonna go? Enter, there we go. That first one, top 5 punctuation mistakes college students make and how to avoid them. Really, just really simple, relatively short video, 5 minutes and 20 seconds, and some really helpful hints there. Warning signs, things to look out for when it comes to punctuation. And then the second video there is a little bit longer video. It's 18 minutes long, but it's chapterized, and I've given you the chapters and their numbers there. You'll see that when you get onto YouTube. So if you want to review specific information, you can just go to that chapter or that time frame in that particular video. So couple of helpful things there. And then I'm going to give you another kind of bonus help, because you're all sitting there in Manhattan. I'm going to give you a website for a woman who is an editor, professional editor. She used to be my next door neighbor. Really nice lady, and really knowledgeable. Her name, get this, her name is Crystal Lenz.
That's cool.
For real, it's her name. Lenz is spelled with a Z. She's got a website called Crystal Lenz Editing. But the other thing that you'll want to note is she posts a lot on social media. So you can go and find her on Facebook. I think she's on Instagram, which you guys are probably on more than Facebook. And she posts regularly just little tips or little funnies about how to be more grammatically correct. So a great person to follow on social media that will help you with your writing. And if you get to a point where you have a paper that's important enough to have somebody else look it over and edit it for you, she does that. She will charge you, but give her my name and she might give you a little discount. But Crystal Lenz Editing, great resource for you there, just to follow on social media. So you guys got it here first. I will probably share this information on the Class Canvas site, but you guys get a head start.
Yeah, and the video will be up there too. I don't know if does the video show the chat when it is that.
I don't think it does, so I'll have to post this as a separate document. So I'll just
You know,
post it in the announcements.
Yeah, the other thing that if you want to, you're interested, you are all welcome to join the Collegian Media Group. Write for the newspaper. You don't need experience. They'll train you. And what I find is those who join the Collegian, they tend to grow a lot more quickly in their writing because you're constantly doing it, and you're getting feedback from your student editors and they are, they're telling you, hey, this is how you can make this better. You're seeing your stuff, and then of course you see your stuff published. And so I strongly encourage it. Meetings are Mondays. I'll just put it also in the chat just in case anyone is interested.
And that's, David brings up a good point. The best way to improve your writing
So do it.
is to write, or also to read more. And I know you guys are in college, and so you're reading textbooks. You're not reading for pleasure. And sometimes you got to struggle through those textbooks. But the more you read and the more you write, the better writer that you will be. So do that stuff, and it will help you out. And then a great way to practice your writing, as David points out, is join the Collegian Media Group. And it's a nice resume item for you as you move forward. You guys probably already know, I told you, I think the last meeting, I'm the internship coordinator. So as you get closer to graduating and you do your internship, you have that Collegian Media Group item on your resume as a line there. People are going to recognize that. And especially if you're interning with companies that have K-State alumni, they're going to recognize that, and they're going to know that you guys have done some good work. So,
yeah. And I think I've said this before, but of course it's in the syllabus and put it in some of my emails. But I'm here on campus. I'm in KEDZ 103, and anyone's welcome to stop by. I have a great office. I got a fireplace.
there you go. Bring your marshmallows.
I keep chocolate truffles in my office. Okay. In my office. All right. Bottles of water. So you're welcome to come in. Have a chocolate truffle, bottle of water, a chat, and review any of your stuff.
And I'm not on campus, but my schedule is probably a little more flexible. So if you're having trouble with fitting in time to go see David in person, give me a holler, and we'll jump on Zoom, and we'll try to solve any problems, answer any questions for you.
Okay.
On that note, any questions that you have right now?
No. Anybody want to sing for us or do a dance? No takers.
No takers. Okay.
All right.
Well, we better sign off then before David starts dancing on his table.
Oh, you have no idea. I used to do that at the clubs. They used to dance in the bars. It's okay to laugh.
It's scary. So, you guys, thanks so much for joining us tonight. I mean, you guys, by doing this, you guys are just getting a little bit of head and shoulders above everybody else. You're getting some extra bonus information, and so thanks so much for doing that. And in fact, because you guys are here tonight, I'm going to give everybody a couple of extra bonus points for being here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know if anyone saw the email, but I do have a pair of free tickets to give away. Did anyone catch that email? Or pick up on? And what'd you come up with?
Well, I know a pretty long word, but the word that I looked up was like 183 words long. But there's a word that's 36 letters.
Yeah, what is it?
Not words, but hippopotamonstrosis quipid aliophobia.
Oh,
it's
and
the
he
fear of long words.
That's impressive.
All right, I'll take it. You win the free tickets. Congratulations.
Oh, awesome.
Yes. And just to get... Here they are.
And
I love tickets.
JP, I want to make sure I get your name right.
They're not worth anything. You can't do a damn thing with them, but they're free. Enjoy
I
it.
can use them.
Non-transferable, and please no gifting. No re-gifting.
They're mine forever.
Yours to keep.
All right.
What happened again?
You want a pair of free tickets to absolutely nothing. They're just free.
Tom said something about to me.
Oh, JP, I was just wanting to make sure I got your name right, because I'm not seeing any JP on our class list. So
Oh, it's Juan Pablo or Juan.
Juan. And let's see, what's your last name? I know I'm not seeing a Juan Pablo on here. So what's your last name that you're going by at campus?
Cardenas, Cardenas.
Ah, there we go. There we go. Want to make sure you get your points.
Give me free points, monkey pants.
There we go. We got your free points.
All
All right. And let's see, Ashley, I'm going to get you your free points. Right there. Yeah, I'm noticing a pattern here. People that are showing up are the people that got monkey pants points. So keep doing that.
Claire's got
thanks so
something
much
going
for-
on there. She's laughing at something.
My roommate is listening to the conversation and she just has no context, so she's a little bit confused about what monkey pants mean.
We love doing that. That's what we like to do, is confuse people that are poking in from the outside. All right, you guys have an awesome evening. Thanks for dropping in, and we'll catch up to you next time. Do awesome things on your next quiz.
All right. Take care, Claire's roommate.